Welcome to today's video, where we dive deep into the complex and profound ideas of Carl Jung. We will explore one of his most important and foundational concepts, the ego and the self. These two psychological structures are central to understanding not only our behavior and emotional experiences, but also the deeper layers of who we truly are as human beings. Have you ever felt like there is a part of you that you don't fully understand? A hidden part that you're not in touch with, even though you interact with the world daily? In today's video, we'll explore how ego and self play critical roles in shaping our lives and our sense of self-worth. Understanding these two concepts can unlock the door to true self-awareness and emotional freedom. Jung's exploration of ego and self has the potential to transform the way you understand your own personal growth and the conflict you may feel between the person you present to the world and the person you are deep inside. Let's begin by examining the concept of ego. The ego is the conscious mind. It's the part of us that we are most aware of, the I that we recognize in the mirror. Ego is the identity we assume every day, the part of us that interacts with the external world, makes decisions, and navigates through life. But ego isn't just a superficial identity. It's a critical element of how we function and engage with the world. Ego is the aspect of our psyche that helps us build a coherent, conscious narrative about who we are. It is our sense of self that helps us distinguish ourselves from others. However, Jung believed that ego only represents a small part of our overall psyche. It is a limited, conscious identity, and it can often be out of touch with the deeper, unconscious forces that shape our true self. Ego operates on the surface level of awareness, interacting with the material world. But Jung argued that ego alone is insufficient for true self-understanding and growth. In a way, ego serves as a mask, one that we wear to protect ourselves and help us navigate the external world. But when we depend too much on ego, we risk losing sight of the deeper aspects of our personality. These are the parts of ourselves that we often repress or ignore because they don't fit with the identity we have constructed. In contrast to the ego, self represents a much larger and more profound part of our psyche. The self is the whole person, the totality of our consciousness and unconscious mind. It is the true, integrated version of who we are, a version that encompasses both the parts of ourselves that we are aware of and those we have yet to fully acknowledge. For Jung, the self is the larger, unifying concept that goes beyond the limitations of ego. It includes the ego, but also extends to the unconscious, the forgotten, the unknown, and even the shadowy parts of ourselves that we often suppress. Self is the entirety of who we are, our potential, our unexpressed abilities, and even our deepest fears. Jung viewed the self as the goal of psychological integration, the point where all parts of our psyche come together to form a complete whole. This process of achieving integration is called individuation, the journey of becoming fully aware and aligned with who we are meant to be. The self is not a fixed entity, but a process of becoming, constantly evolving as we grow and integrate new aspects of our identity. While ego operates on a conscious level, self brings together both conscious and unconscious elements. It is the larger, more holistic self that Jung believed each individual should strive to connect with. In order to become fully integrated, one must embrace both the light and the shadow of their being, and that is exactly what the process of individuation is all about. The relationship between ego and self is not one of opposition, but one of harmony. In Jung's view, the ego should not be rejected or denied. It plays a critical role in helping us navigate the external world, make decisions, and function in society. The ego is essential for our survival in daily life. However, the ego alone cannot provide the depth and fulfillment we seek. The self is where true wholeness lies, and the goal is to integrate the ego with the self, allowing both to coexist in harmony. It's not about rejecting the ego, but expanding it to include the unconscious elements that make up the totality of our being. When we rely solely on the ego, we may live a life that feels disconnected, shallow, and incomplete. We may be guided by external validation, social approval, and material success, but we risk missing the deeper meaning of life. Only by integrating the ego with the self can we achieve true fulfillment and inner peace. The process of individuation is about bringing the ego into alignment with the self, allowing us to live an authentic, fully realized life. It's the integration of our conscious and unconscious selves, and it's through this integration that we achieve true wholeness. While self is the deeper, more integrated aspect of who we are, the ego remains essential for functioning in the world. Ego helps us engage with the external world, make choices, and manage our relationships. It is through the ego that we engage with society, take action, and fulfill our daily responsibilities. However, as Jung observed, if the ego becomes too dominant, it can create a disconnect between our external identity and our true inner self. When we rely too much on ego, we might begin to conform to societal expectations or adopt roles and identities that do not align with our true nature. This is where the conflict arises. The challenge is to find balance. We need to ensure that ego serves us rather than controls us. The ego should be a reflection of the deeper self, but it should never be a mask that hides our true essence. Jung emphasized that the ego should serve as a bridge between the outer world and the inner world of the self, helping us navigate life while staying true to our authentic nature. The ultimate goal is to integrate the ego and self. This integration is not about suppressing or denying one aspect of our psyche, but rather about finding balance. When ego and self are aligned, we experience peace and authenticity. We no longer live according to external expectations or societal pressures. Instead, we live in alignment with our true inner values. The process of integrating ego and self is ongoing, a lifelong journey. It requires continuous self-reflection, inner work, and a willingness to confront both the light and the dark within us. This integration allows us to live authentically, free from the constraints of the false identities we may have built over time. As we embrace both ego and self, we achieve a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. We are no longer trapped in the cycle of seeking external validation, but are grounded in the knowledge of our own worth and inner truth. Carl Jung's theories on ego and self offer us a profound path to understanding ourselves more deeply. By integrating the ego with the self, we can transcend the limitations of our superficial identity and embrace the totality of who we are. This is the path to individuation, the journey of becoming whole. True freedom comes when we live authentically, embracing both the light and the shadow within us. By understanding the relationship between ego and self, we unlock our potential and create a life that is deeply fulfilling and aligned with our true nature. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Carl Jung's psychology. If this video resonated with you, please leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights into the psychology of self-growth and self-awareness. Until next time, stay true to yourself and embrace the journey toward wholeness. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more content on Carl Jung's teachings and psychological insights. Join our community and continue exploring the depths of the human psyche.